Hello, the Internet Tough Monkey here once again. Hope you're all well. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, today I have a consumer review for you, and I'm looking at the Creative Zen Hybrid SXFI. Bit of a tongue twister, that one. These are over-the-ear headphones. You can connect them either by Bluetooth or by the 3.5mm auxiliary cable that comes with them. I will be helped in this review by my beautiful assistant, Wade, over here, and these are the headphones in question. They're available in white or in a tasteful black and grey. I will say at this point that these were supplied to me by the Amazon Vine program. As always, I do not get paid for this review, and my comments are entirely independent, and I'm not in any way distracted by manufacturers or Amazon themselves. Right, what have we got then? We've got the headphones here, which collapse up into a nice compact shape. They come with the carry bag. We get a 3.5mm jacked cable, which I'll say at this point is absolutely tiny. These aren't, you're not going to be sitting miles away from your TV. That is the length of the cable. I could have done with much larger cable than that if I'm going to be sitting next to my hi-fi on my TV. You also get the standard USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and little else other than that. You will need to download the Creative Labs SXFI app for your Android or iOS phones to be able to set the headphones up correctly. Now, the reason why you need to do that is this SXFI is a form of their spatial technology, a bit similar to Apple's AirPod Pro type things. What you need to do with this, and this isn't easy on your own, you need to download the app, you need to get your mobile phone, and you need to take a picture of your ear. You try doing that on your own. It's a bit of a combination of mirrors in the bathroom. That's how I managed to do it. Of your right ear, of your left ear, and a picture of your face, and then it maps out the contours of your face and your ears and comes up with some kind of clever spatial system, which you enact by the pressing of that button there. I'll go through the controls in a moment, but I've had this since Monday of this week, and I've been wearing it pretty much constantly, both when I'm sitting in here, working over here during the working week. I've done the supermarket shop in it, I've taken the dog out for a walk several times in it, and I've got to say, they're actually quite comfortable. I do have a bit of a thing with headphones. I don't know if my head is shrinking. I don't know if Beetlejuice is sprinkling something on me, but they always seem just too big for my head. This is at its shortest, its smallest. And you see, it's not entirely sitting securely on my head. You can obviously extend them if you've got an absolutely enormous cranium, but if you've got a head no bigger than mine, so if you're a child or a teenager or a growing adult, then this may be a little bit too big for you. Generally speaking, it sits, I have to make sure it balances on the top, very, very top of my head up there. It's not too bad, but I've just got to be careful. If I'm wandering around the house and I look down, for example, if I go to the toilet just on the side of the landing, I've got to be careful I'm not dropping these down the toilet, because if I knock my head down too short, if I'm bopping, if I'm moshing away to something, I'm doing my AC/DC bit, these do fall off if I'm not particularly careful. So I could do with them just being a little bit snugger. Manufacturers, can you just make this a little bit smaller so it doesn't fall off my head? But although it does kind of rest on the top of my ears, and I can't do that for long because I can't hear myself, it is quite comfortable. Now, I am comparing these to two other headphones in this review. These are my SteelSeries Arctis Pro, which I've had for very nearly 4 years, and they're like a sofa for the top of your head. They are so comfortable, these things are, and I use them exclusively in this room for my gaming PC, for my PlayStation and all the consoles down there, and for my OLED LG TV if I'm watching, let's say DVDs. Well, I've got DVDs and VHS and Blu-rays and stuff. If I'm watching movies, I'll quite often wear these. They're a lot more sizable, and they've got the retractable microphone for when you're gaming. So these aren't something you're going to be taking out and about, these aren't. But they are an absolute delight, and I can sit and play games for 10, 15 hours, something stupid, and it will not in any way be discomfortable for me. It's the battery life isn't as good as those, but you do have a spare battery, so you just whip it out of there, and you can do some pretty long gaming sessions with those. They are an absolute delight, and I will recommend them to absolutely anyone. But like I say, I am not going to be going out in the at supermarket shopping with those on my head. When I want to do that, that's when these come into play. The Apple AirPod Pros, they're a generation 1, and I've had those, well, since about 2 weeks after the AirPod Pros came out. So how many years is that? I don't know. And I think they are wonderful. They are one of the best things I own. They are an absolute delight. And I will usually lie in bed of an evening time after my wife has fallen asleep, and I'll watch my movies, play my games on my iPad just here, and I will use these. And with their version of the spatial technologies, I think is absolutely fantastic. Those are wonderful headphones. And if I'm out and about anywhere, I'm going to be wearing those. Except for this week, I have been trying out these headphones, and I've got to say I have really enjoyed them. Let's have a look through the controls we've got on here. So there's no controls whatsoever on your left earbud. You've got the USB-C charging port, and that is it on this side of your head. On this side, it's all happening, and that's where you've got to try and learn where things are. Not everything is quite to hand. The most easiest button to find is the power button, so you kind of locate it by the 3.5 mil auxiliary port just there, and you run your finger up, and that is your power on button, and from there that is your power on, power off, and also start and stop your music tracks. Then above that you've got the volume rocker switch just there, which a long press of either down or up will advance your tracks. Then moving the other side of the jack, you've got 2 more buttons, which are a bit more difficult to locate when they're up on your ear. You're moving your hands around all over the place. You've got the ANC button, the active noise cancellation button. That's the one you're going to be using quite often. And then this one here is the SXFI button. Now, SFXI. I've been trying to work out whether I actually find that any use. You'll sit here. If you do buy these, you'll sit here pressing the button, SFXI on. Is that, can I tell anything? SFXI off. Is there much of a difference? You've got to go backwards and forwards to really note much of a difference. And the only real difference you get is it just sounds a little bit more tinny when you turn it on. I don't think that's particularly beneficial. It's almost like you're in a concert hall without anybody else in there. It's just that little bit more echoey. That's what it feels like to me, and I've not really come across a situation where I've thought, yeah, that really benefits my listening. So after the first couple of days, I've not used that SFXI at all. So this is the major selling point of these, using Super XFI technology. Didn't really think it was any good. The ANC though, that is much better. So active noise cancellation, if you haven't used it before on anything, that is a button that allows you to completely enclose yourself in the sound of the headphone. So you press it, it says ANC on, and all, to an extent, all sounds outside of the headphones just melt away. You can't hear a great deal. You can hear something, a very muffled sound of what's going on, and if someone's really shouting at you, you can definitely hear it. But it works very well. The ANC on these I've always thought works really, really well as well. But it does work well on here. You can have ANC off, and you will notice a difference when it drops off. You'll just get muffled sounds because your ears are enclosed in these earphones. You will get a muffled sound. Then you have ambient mode. Ambient mode is very, very useful when you're out and about. When I go take the dog out for a walk, whether I'm wearing my AirPod Pros or these, I will have it in ambient mode, because what that means is it picks up the sounds outside and then amplifies them into your ear. You may find that not so good, but if you're out and about, you do want to hear possible dangers, like cars and people running up behind and things like that. The pass-through is really good on these. The only time it becomes awkward is, I noticed this today. I was coming back from my mum's earlier on with the dog, and the weather had changed and the wind had picked up. So the wind that was passing by, which on those you don't notice at all because it's inside your ear canal. These ones, it created wind resistance as the wind was going past, and it amplified that wind resistance. So like when you get a microphone in the wind, it was sort of playing that into my ear, so it wasn't quite as good there. So you just turn it off back onto ANC, active noise cancellation mode. And then you've got this adaptive ANC, which is becoming more popular, but I don't really ever see any benefit of it. It just it's like this special version of ANC which adapts to the conditions, and if someone starts talking to you, it kind of mutes things and changes the dynamics. But can't say I've noticed a huge amount of difference. But I've tried this, and my wife's tried it with me listening, me talking to her, and I'll be talking to her and she can't hear me. I'll then put them on my head and she'll talk to me and I can't hear her. So the ANC works pretty well. I'm quite impressed with that. Yeah, I would say it's pretty much on par with the Apple ones. But out and about, I found these really comfortable. Like I say, I've just got to be careful that. Like this morning, I went to Asda to go and do the supermarket shop. I went to put something in my trolley, and the headphones fell off my head. Also, something else. I didn't realise this at the time because I was wandering around Asda, and I've got a very eclectic mix. I've got a playlist where if I hear something, I just dump it in. Yeah, add that to my playlist. I've been doing that for about 30 years, so I've got some pretty choice selections of music. And at one point, the Venga Boss came on the headphones, and I realised as I was wandering around Asda, I thought, can people actually hear this on the outside? Because I'm sure someone was sniggering at me, and quite rightly so as well if I was listening to the Venga Boys. But when I got home, I said to my wife, do you mind listening to this at the sort of volume I listen to these music at? And I could definitely hear a little bit of music bleed. At the time she was listening to a David Bowie track, I could definitely hear the David Bowie track, but then she tried the next song, which wasn't quite as bassy and dynamic, and I was like, I could hear a bit of tinniness, but I couldn't tell what it was. So you can get a bit of bleed through coming out of the pads there, but it's not too dramatic unless it's a proper meaty soundtrack. But something to be aware if you're listening to something that might be a little bit embarrassing, like the Venga Boys. But other than that, what do I think about them? The battery life. No, I've not charged these up. Like I say, these came at the very start of the week. It's now Saturday, and I've been wearing them quite a lot. I would say 4 or 5 hours every single day, and well, they've got no indication of them running out of battery. So battery life is pretty good, and I've got ANC on. According to Creative's own website, they will do 70 hours of music play with the ANC off. With ANC on, it's reduced to 40 hours, so that's quite a big drop off. And then the battery life will also decrease by the volume that you play it at, and if you've got the SXFI on. But I would say I've been listening to them for a good 25-30 hours, and the battery has not showed any signs of conking out yet. The range of them, the Bluetooth range, and that was something I'm always interested in, because Bluetooth is definitely getting better. When I'm in here playing music during the workday, I will play my music on my Amazon Music Unlimited account on my iPad, which sits up there. And if I'm wearing that, I'll go for a wander around the house. If I'm going to the bathroom, that's not too far away. But if I'm going down to the kitchen, that's on the very far corner of the house. I've had no problem with the sound if I keep my iPad here and me wearing these all the way down the far corner of the house. I can still get reception on them. It only starts to lose it when I go out into the garden. Then it starts to break up. But I thought the range of these were really good. Cost wise, well, the RRP on these are $89.99. That's what they're on Amazon at the moment as of Saturday the 13th of July, having been on sale for just over a month now. But they've already got a 20% voucher that's applicable for them, and with Prime Day coming up, there may be even better deals to come. So if you're taking off 20% of that, what's that, 18 quid off of that, so we're on about 72 quid. 72 quid for those headphones, I think, is pretty good value. Even at £90, I would say they're not too bad. They're up there with some of the better headphones I've ever tried. I've never tried the Apple top of the range ones, which would be the ones to really try these against. But my experience of these so far from listening to, and like I say, I've got a very eclectic mix, so I go from AC/DC are my favourite band and I'll listen to them a lot. But yesterday I was listening to a classical selection, which it was about 6 hours worth of classical music, and it was very good, really good. Sonically, I was pretty impressed. I still prefer the Steel Series if I was going to be in here gaming, obviously the microphone is better on that. These do have a microphone, but for every other purpose, I think they're pretty good. I've tried taking calls with them. On my iPhone, I've accepted calls. Sounds good. People can hear me. I can hear them pretty good as well. So all in all, I think these are a pretty decent set of headphones. The battery life seems pretty good. I would have preferred a much longer cable if I wanted to go for a 3.5mm auxiliary connection. But otherwise, oh, and the bag is pretty poor. I'd like a better bag. But these, I think, when I go abroad next, I'm due to go to America in a couple of months, I think I'll be taking those with me. And having that cable actually allows me to connect up to the Virgin Atlantic flight I shall be on as well. So I'll have much better headphones than the ones you get in an airplane as well. But overall, if I was to give this my usual 5-star Amazon rating, I will probably give these a 4-star. They are very good, decent value, just not quite perfect. I would just like them a little bit smaller to be snugger on my head. And I think at £72 they are very, very good value. £90, decent, but if you can get them for £72 or cheaper, then I think 4 stars is pretty good. Would I take them over my AirPod Pros? Probably not, because I still think they are absolutely fantastic headphones, they are. But as over-the-ear headphones go for under £100, they're pretty good. I'd recommend them. Right, okay, I shall see you on the next video. Until next time, take it easy.